Yes.
Yeah, John asked whether more stuff
It's year to date. It's
pass them down.
the CDBG for Adonians, the assessment.
Okay. Did you make one for the mayor?
Yeah, sure.
Did you make one for Andrew? Pass them down.
There should
Did you
be
get
enough
one
for
yet?
everyone.
Thank you. How about you?
I have my own copy. And then again, phone.
I'd like to call the order of the Schenectady City Council Committee meeting for Wednesday, October 18th, 2023. And I'll turn it over to Mr. Muthuvaran.
Thank you. I would like to reconvene a finance committee. And there is one item that we need to address, a follow from last meeting, and that has to do with the Human Resource Department. I was to have some questions from Mr. Ron Gardner.
It's on page 8.
Okay. Mr. Gardner, you just want to come up there and answer questions, if you so choose.
The chair will go.
Oh, sorry, here. Mr. Porterfield, you had some questions regarding, you want to go ahead?
Certainly. So I noticed in the budget when Ms. Ali was here that there's two positions that were removed from the budget. The positions weren't removed, I should say, that they weren't funded, and they were the,
Actually, yours, assistant.
yeah, I'm just wondering about his office. Oh, you mean the assistant? Yeah, but he doesn't have any control over that.
Oh,
So about the affirmative action offices. So the affirmative action office clerical aide and program coordinator, neither of those were funded this year. So just really want to know from you, that was a decision that you wanted to make, or?
No, I would actually reconsider that. We've been working to try to get, these positions funded. They're very, very desperately needed to assist the work that we're trying to do in this office of affirmative action. We just now completed the interviewing process, so we sent the one selection up to the mayor's office today for consideration. So, so that's up there. And also, it's been a challenging, delicate situation in terms of the affirmative action office and the empowerment center, because these items were both connected to what we're trying to do with the 18 Auburn Street and ARPA funded and all that. But since we've had such a cost overrun in terms of being able to get the building done and get everything on track to make it move forward, it's been almost impossible to say how can we, get the positions in there to run the program if we're not sure what we're going to run the programs out of. So that was the one issue that was, in contention for me. But we did, work through that, and I want to come back to you to discuss at another time the reappropriation, of the office fund to go more toward the programming side, and so therefore we're able to serve the community and do the things we want to do as opposed to being locked down to the capital infrastructure of the building. So I want to come back with a proposal for that. But in terms of the two positions, they're critical in the sense that, we definitely need help in terms of the day-to-day operations of what we're doing down here, what we're trying to do to service the clientele and, get the word out and service and hold true to the mission. So it's been a process to do that. We looked at a lot of people, and it's just been hard. So we got the first part of it done. I think we're fairly close to being ready with the second piece, to move that forward for consideration. But in terms of programming we've been doing, a lot of things that, require the help. We talk about creating, access to opportunities, making the word available in terms of, what we have to offer and what we're trying to do, specifically to workforce development and training, working with our partners and, just trying to develop the whole program in a quality fashion so that it's sustainable and deliver the results that we're trying to do. So I think we'll be able to move forward with a quality, sustainable program and a product that's going to make the city proud. And we'll be able to deliver what the community is asking for.
So, follow-up question. You said that you submitted something to the mayor's office.
Right.
Which one of these positions was it for?
It's for the clerical aid.
Clerical aid. And it's my understanding that someone was hired at one point, but it didn't work. Could you,
Right.
could you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, but that didn't work. I think they went to the state. So,
Oh.
So it simply didn't work out here.
All right. So it wasn't for lack of trying. You did have someone employed, but they
Well,
decided,
they never started.
they didn't start, they just accepted the job but didn't start?
Right.
Okay. All right, so, but you have reached out, because I just, wanted to ask those questions, because I just want to be frank that, we were told that there had been, you had been submitted several applications, but had not considered any of the people.
Well, we considered a lot. I mean, we've been, it's a process, you get, 10, 20 applications, you call them all, the boss don't answer, don't show up or whatever, so that process and some don't work out, but, we've been going through that process. And, I'm very comfortable with what, we've come out with to get this started.
Right. So my last question, if between these two positions, because neither one of them have been funded at this point, and if we said like, we can only fund one or the other, from your perspective as the person who runs the office, which would you have chosen?
Well, I have to go with the data, the data entry person, because that's, where we're getting bogged down the most, so much is coming in and just keeping up with things. So that's one thing. The other position is important too, because there's a lot of support that we get from within the current administration of the city that absorb a lot of those things that typically would not be done. Specifically, Sylvia helps me out tremendously in terms of grant writing and identifying grant opportunities, connections and relationships with the partners that we're trying to work with when it comes to the community college, the school district. All of these things, it takes time. A year ago, we started working on the MOU with the school district to talk about a workforce initiative. So that's been last September. Here we are this year, we're just not getting to the point where they're coming back with their draft or what they want to move forward. So everything just takes a very long time. And we need to be in a position to go after the funding. We need to go after the grants so that we can sustain the programs once we get them done. So we do talk with funders, potential funders that's interested in working with us. We're talking with, the district, what resources can they bring to bear. We're talking to community college, they work with us through the workforce initiative and the student programs, so what can they do? So, many things that they can do, in retrospect is, maybe like non-cash, transactions, but they can assist with staff, for example, the college, they do like all of the screening and taking the applicants and all that, but it's taxing on them to keep up with what we're trying to keep up with and empower people. So, we do what we can to, make it happen and, keep doing it. And then we still, go to outside resources looking for funding. So, we will talk for a whole year with the group that want to support the, the Empowerment Center, itself. And they will come, with some, significant funding, but they didn't want to get involved with the capital piece, nothing to do with the building, but the programming piece, like over a 3 to 5 year capital piece, is something that we, would have to work with them on. But, it's conversations like that is why this coordinating piece becomes critical, because we need somebody that's strong enough to have these conversations and, and sometimes, we're not as astute to the traditional routes. We don't have those relationships. We have to build these relationships, and it just simply takes time. So we need the help of these people to make it happen.
Thank you.
Go ahead, please.
So would you say that the program coordinator is more focused towards the empowerment center and the work that will be done once that center opens?
Well, no, well, this service, they're doing the program, so I think we can do the program without having a building, so we'll just make the program work. So for example, we have the skills training program, the next course starts next week, the 23rd. And then after that, we have the business workshop, we're doing like a business workshop series, and things, like for years, we're trying to do something like each month to, keep the activity going and make it happen. And the two ironically go hand in hand. In other words, we train people, so let's say that we run 150 people through the skills training program. And at the end of the day, we, having trouble getting them placed. We obviously the priority is to get them placed within the city, but, we're not getting them here, so it's just hard. So we need to build the capacity of the small businesses that have the opportunities to take them on. So we have to, do them both at the same time. So we're working to build the capacity of small business and, being part of the mission and enthusiasm that's going on within the city, and ultimately create the, create the job. And we do have a disconnect, you hear every day about people looking for employees, they say we can't find them, where are they, and, we have it here, and, but yet when you go 2 blocks up, you talk to, I can't get an interview, or why can't I get this, or, and these are the realities that we deal with, and we talk about things in a true public-private kind of relationship, that, we have to do them both at the same time. So.
Mr. Cardinal, so currently the work are being done by you, Ms. Jameson.
Right. And we do get.
So do you have any backlog in terms of reviewing the compliance report?
We do. I mean, it all becomes challenging, it all becomes taxing, because we got to constantly chase down what, what's happening with the projects, and, they get reports saying, about, get it done, so we get it done, but we would like to be on the proactive side to, be able to be why, people have challenges to get in there and, just,
How many grants did you submit this year, and what's the status of those grants?
Well, in the past 12 months, I say we submitted like three grants, 1 to the state, 3 to the federal. We didn't get, we got closer than we did the year before. The year before, we submitted about the same, and, we didn't get any, we didn't get anywhere with it. But this week, we got a lot closer, a lot of feedback in terms of, what to consider partnering with somebody, those type of things. So we did get closer in that regard. We did get a small grant like from National Grid. We did apply through the state, through the, workforce initiative, and some of those things are still pending, but, we're working now with the, Workforce Development Institute and the Department of Labor. So they have, that's sort of ties to what we're doing with our workforce program, where the negotiation is once they complete our 5 or 6 week program, that they would go into the next level, which would be like a pre-apprenticeship program. So we're trying to, bridge that gap. So,
How many programs did you run this year, and how many students went through it?
this is, well, we typically run like about 3 to 4 cohorts per year. So this is going to be the 3rd cohort this year. Starting next week.
And how many students?
15, typically we start like on 15 to each, we got probably like 12, 11 that was complete.
Go ahead, please.
So are you able to utilize the grant writer for the city to write your grants, or who writes your grants for you?
Sylvia's been writing most of them, and we do, we have worked with Sue, through the city. But Sylvia's been writing the ones that we've been,
But she's not part of your department, she works in a different department, but she's assisting yours, thank you.
She's part of development. She works mostly with development.
Mostly with
So,
development,
Yeah,
okay.
but actually she does grants for the city. I know she's done police, she's done finance, she's done other grants. Did she do, want to help you with yours now?
I didn't know that.
Sylvia has? Oh, no, Sue Lombardi.
Yes.
No, I was
that's
asking about Sylvia.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm just saying, but also Sue Lombardi helps still.
Okay,
And we have talked with, Sue, like in trying to advise her, what to go after and things like that. And, so we have views, but, just work out the one, to identify what we want to go after and put the resources where, have the best shot.
thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Gardner? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Have a good evening. I'm gonna share these slides.
Thank you.
Yeah, just. Exactly. So before you, it's a combine of all the proposed changes, so give you a couple minutes to go through them, and then we'll go through them individually, discuss it, and move forward.
Did you get a copy? You're just hiding it, want me to read on your paper?
Sure.
So we'll just do that. It doesn't really explain it. This is the most current year, dude. Okay.
Yeah, listen, I
I just got another one.
That's what I got.
Did we don't make this?
Holy.
Whatever.
You don't wanna miss it.
Oh, we don't.
Like, it's going to remember the gallbladder surgery.
Yeah. That's right, I had one. I mean,
449.
Can you see?
That's 16.
I slept 3 days.
Oh my God, sorry. You can tell Ron, he doesn't have to stay if he doesn't want to. I don't know if he understands that.
Okay, so we'll just go through each item. First section is revenue. The question, Mr. Ferrari, is to explain the real property tax collection year to date. On the first printout you have given to us, and the one today, the number remained the same, despite the fact that collection was ongoing.
Say it again, please.
Real property tax
Yes.
collection.
You know, the monthly statements I give you
Yes.
every month, if you read the bottom, you know, the way our books, the way the computer works is that we figure we achieved 100%. But in actuality, we were receiving about 93%. It's increasing every year.
So you receive about 93% collection on that line?
Yes.
The next one, can you explain to us the sales tax and growth for 2024?
Yeah, so we increased the sales tax by $1 million over last year. As we see, even though, you hear about the economy going up, but the cost of everything is up, especially gasoline. We're getting all those sales tax increases, so we're looking forward on that.
So you think a million increase from 2023 is
Doable.
that conservative?
Doable. Yes, I think it is.
Should it go up a little bit more?
I would not put it up anymore.
Excuse me, John,
Go
can
ahead.
you tell us the line number?
Oh,
as you're
sorry,
reading?
revenue is on revenue page 1.
It's 811.
A1001.
Yep, I got it.
Yeah. Sorry,
That's okay, thank
I
you.
put them together.
So it's conservative, but recommend stay the million.
Yeah.
Million, please. And the next one, can you walk us through the last revenue? You had given us a statement here, what kind of,
You wanna do the last revenue?
just for the benefit of everyone.
Sure. Let's keep it here.
So the next,
You're talking about the 6.6 million?
6.6 million, yes.
Yeah, that is just to basically balance the books, and that's what we have left over for our lost revenue. That was a calculation of 5.2%, what we received from the ARPA monies. So we did that calculation, and I believe I sent everyone that sheet that shows the amount we actually received. But 6.6 million is what is left over, and that's just going to be filling the gap between our revenues and our expenditures.
Any question on this?
So 6.6 is what we have left in ARPA, and that's what that figure
Our
represents.
lost revenue,
Lost
Our lost revenue.
So you're using that
yes.
to cover our loss of revenue.
Yeah.
Correct.
And it could be we're not gonna use it all, like even like what we used last year, we may not use it all this year either,
Yep.
so we might have some left over.
Are you good with that? You good? Okay. So we'll move to the next item. The next one is A1010-100, City Council. There's a proposal for a 16% increase of City Council member. Open for discussion. Sorry.
I brought this forward, and so as you can see, I researched, so the council hasn't received a increase in the stipend since 2002, and it's increased, our duties have increased overall, including doing the budget, which has increased over the years. So at this point in time, I was just putting forth that to increase the stipend for the city council members, while at the same time, considering the outside counsel, which we had put in, and reducing that, since we had not used it, but leaving some of it in place, 15,000, and to, just in case we needed, but taking some of it away from the 25,000 that we had originally budgeted.
Open for questions on this. Go ahead, please.
So I would not support, as I've mentioned, the increase for city council. I don't think that that's really why we're here, doing the job, but I also recommended that I think we should take out the entire 25,000 for the outside counsel, as we discussed last year. I mean, I think that, most of us, use our corporation counsel for any questions that we have, and folks in the corporation counsel office, for questions that we have, when they come up. So I just, as we discussed last year, I again do not think that we need that in the budget at all.
Any other discussion on this item?
No, I mean, I understand your position, so, I mean, so if it all goes through, and, you could stand on principle, and then if you, feel like it's not something that you would want to take, I understand that.
Any other question on this? Okay. We'll move to the next one, 8-10-10-440. That's kind of like linked to the one before. Proposed decreasing outside legal service by $10,000. Yeah, it's currently 25,000, so this has been asked to reduce it to 15,000. Any discussion on this?
Again, I just don't think that we needed even the 15,000, but I would reduce it to 0.
Any other comments on this?
Sorry.
Go ahead, please.
I would just say, based on a preparedness standpoint, I definitely understand that our corporation counsel is like willing and able to do this types of work, but I think just because there's not an immediate use does not deter you from having these types of budget items as a just-in-case resource. I think having it for another year to see if we're going to potentially utilizing it, then I think I'd be more in favor of assessing its long-term implications as a line number.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to the next item. It's A-1210-100, and that's adjusting the admin assistant to the current 2023 salary of $57,390. Open for discussion.
Well, you're not very consistent. You give the Parks Director 4%, and you don't give anything here.
Sure. Go ahead, please.
I would just say there's just blatant differences between a director and an administrative assistant. No slight to either position because they're both vital to the City Hall's long-term plans.
We can't use reasoning for one and not for the other.
Go ahead, Ms. Porter.
As I believe there was a 4% increase in this line item from last year's budget to the 2023, and then it was vacant for a while, and this person came in very, very recently. So I mean, generally a 4% increase is like over something that has been a long time. And let me just also say, I looked back, and there was in 2020, between 2020 and 2021, there was like no increase in this line whatsoever. So this is not unusual, it's not like it's never happened before, because when the 2020 and 2021 budget was passed, there was also not an increase in that line.
Any other discussion? You want to handle it? Ms. Porter?
I'm sorry?
You want to handle it?
No, just, not really.
Any other?
I was telling people to go upstairs.
Well, I do want to say, I think the Parks Director was hired, in February perhaps, so I think that person has been in their position for almost a year, or, certainly by the time I don't know when the administrative assistant was hired, so it probably was very recently, but
I think maybe July, maybe August, I'm not, but very recently, yes.
Any other questions? We'll move to the next one, A 1310 100. Question on the proposal is to increase the deputy finance commissioner position to $80,000. Currently, it's 78. So they're bumping it up additional,
I know him.
and there's a
Currently 78?
Budgeted for 70.
proposed budget has it at 78,000. We're asking to bring that to 80,000. And there's a little bit of reason for that there at the bottom. I don't want, not seeking a finance commissioner retirement as yet, but we
I'm
have.
hoping we will retire. I didn't think I was gonna make it this week.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but,
I was ready to be Doreen's customer there.
don't.
I was sick. Yeah.
Don't say
And
that.
charging 4%.
Oh my gosh.
just,
That is not
discount,
fun.
is that what you're saying?
All right, I was sick this weekend.
4% for everyone, she only charges.
And
We want to make sure we have sufficient plan in this department, like to our city, and Mr. is doing a fantastic job over the years. So we want to make sure the transition happens and the deputy is equipped to carry on, and we need to, put that in place.
As you can see, Dirk does a great job. He listens, he's trained well, and hopefully he's gonna continue to even grow even more.
Any question on this? Okay, the next one here. The assessment, this A 1355 100, assessment office. The assessor was in front of us a couple of days and mentioned to us that it took this, New York State Assessors Association exam pass on the first try. And she has a top certification, and this was a two-part question because there's one here and then there's another one in the back. So we're gonna combine all two together. We had the opportunity to hear from her, and I think that we should, put some consideration in place to compensate her for the certification and the qualification that she has. She did mention that she has the only one in New York State to have that qualification, if I'm not mistaken.
something close to that, yes.
Go ahead, please.
I was gonna say professional development is something that is needed in every organization, and I think it's our responsibility to make sure that we properly incentivize that. That in no way, shape, or form means giving people 100% raise increases, but I think that as they start to add more knowledge, skills, and abilities to their skill set, City Hall is able to be more effective in its businesses within that individual's scope.
We did ask for documentation,
I think you.
It's attached to the,
today's stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry,
sorry.
her salary is 93, that she requested.
93?
yeah, it's
Yeah,
Yeah,
93.
it's you have this, Carmel.
It's 1,064 more than assessed
1,064. Oh, 1,064, got it. Let's get together right there.
So currently the proposal is 91 and 936, and she requested 93,000. Any discussion on this?
I would support that. I mean,
There's not much of a difference from the proposed budget and what is being asked from the department. Next item is A 1420-100 law. And the proposal is a hire paralegal, and then there's a narrative as to why the suggestion is being brought forward. Go ahead, please.
I would like to ask if Mr. Colvin could weigh in on this.
Thank you. Go ahead, please, thank you.
We do anticipate that one of the part-time attorneys who's been working for us for quite a while now will be leaving at the end of the year, full retirement. He's already retired from the DA's office, and he's been doing phenomenal work for us. In fact, we actually got a judgment today in court from a trial over $100,000 fine assessed. This is a case that he handled. As it's noted here, we do have unfilled assistant corporation counsel positions. Obviously, we're trying to fill those positions. I don't know what will happen in 2024 as it applies to the other administrative staff. We get a lot of FOIL requests, obviously, as you all know, and technology's changed where we now have body cams, so there's more redactions to do and more video to review and all of that, and that consumes a great deal of time. There'll never be a shortage of notice of claims that are filed against the city, and code enforcement cases that come up from the building department for us to prosecute, and having, obviously, if we can't fill the assistant corporation counsel positions, there's always going to be a need for additional support staff. We have 2 paralegals currently in the office who don't have the title paralegal. They have code enforcement specialist and record access officer. Having a paralegal could provide additional assistance to handle closings, draft documents, things along those lines, so that the attorneys that we do have can, essentially do the things that only attorneys can do, go to court, and so forth.
What would be an average salary? I mean, there's no salary attached to that recommendation, so.
Yeah, this is guided by, I believe it may fall under